Hey guys, this is Zephyr and we are back to PHP and my Sql tutorials. This is tutorial number 6, and as we promised in the previous tutorial that we are going now to send our information, the city information, to our city table under the tutorial database. So the first thing that we have to do is to create our PHP tag. So remember, I said that once the PHP tag is inside an HTML file, or it's within the HTML tags, you need to have a closing PHP tag, because otherwise it will mess up everything. So as you can see here, if I leave it as it is, you can see that these files have changed. They are no longer looking the way they were looking. Why? Because the PHP file is not closed. So these files, these tags are inside the PHP tag. So we don't need this. So what we do is we close it, and then you can see they are now back to normal. But if I do this, they are no longer functional. They are controlled by the PHP tag. So let the PHP tag control only what is within here. So the first thing is to link our database connection. So the file is DB. So there are 2 ways or 3 ways or a number of ways whereby you can link the database to your HTML, index file, or any other files which you are going to be creating later on. So there is include. So include, what it does, it's every time you include it, but it doesn't give you an error. And you can even open, let's say, dbh.php. You can even open this file, the index file, because the dbh, of course, will no longer be there, but it will give you a warning. Failed to open stream, the file, or no such file or directory is found in the project. So that's require. So there is, that's include. So there is require. So require is different. You cannot open this index page because this file is required. So once this file is not available, you are no longer going to have access to the index page. So if I do this, then the information from the index page has disappeared. Why? Because the file is required so that it proceeds with the other information. So as you can see, the dbh file is not there. So if I put db, the db file is available. So if I refresh here, it's going to show we are connected, right? So we don't need this. We just need it. We just have to include it. So we will include it. If you want to require, it's up to you. So if you include, that's what's going to happen. So let's use include for now, and then we are going to remove this check, because we know that the connection has been successful. So we remove this part. We don't need it, like that. We don't need it. So once we refresh, the we are connected is going to disappear. Now once we've done that, it means we have connected our database. And then the next thing we need to do is now we create a function, a post function. So post function. So this post function will start with if is set. So is set, and then open brackets, brackets, and then you put the post, because I understand that we said we are going to use post, not get. We are going to use post. So post, And then inside this post, there is submit here. Type submit, and then name post city. So this is the name which we are going to use, post city. We are going to copy it. So is set, and then these single quotes, post city. So what is happening is that if I click on post city, the post city is the button, this button. So now this button is taking information above it and then is sending it to the database. So if I click on the post city, it has to take the information and send it to the database. So now we have to have some variables. We have city name, city population, city code, and city PC. So I need to create variables for these four items. So we say name, okay, and then we have also population, right, and then we have code, right, and then we have postal code. So these are my variables. So now the first thing which I have to do is to do this post, and then I'll put the variable. So what is the variable? So the variable is city name. The name of the variable is the city name, and then I will do the same. Let me just copy this. I don't have to create now and then. There we go. So here we have got city pop. City pop. Oh, okay, sorry. I don't know what I have done. So here we have got city pop, and then here is city code, and then here is city PC. So these are our values. If you look at the names of the inputs, it's connecting. Now these variables are the ones which are going to be sent to the database. So now let's create an SQL command. So we create a variable. We say query. Just write it some query, and this query is going to be inside this. So what's our query? Our query is that we will have to insert. We'll have to insert into. We'll have to insert into what? We have to insert into tutorial, because tutorial, not tutorial, but city, because the city is the table which we have created. Our database is tutorial, so we don't need to insert into the tutorial. Sorry for that. We will insert into the city table. So the city table has got columns. The column names of the city table, if we go here, structure, we have got city name, city population, city code, and city postal code. So we'll take these column names. So we have got city, we'll do okay, insert into. So here we have city name, and then we have got city population, right, and then we have city code, and finally you have city postal code. So these are our items under the columns. Those are 4 columns or 5 columns, or minus the ID column. So those 4 columns we have got city name, city population, city code, city postal code. And then what are the values which are going to post that information into these tables? So our values which are going to do this job are these. So we have got this guy. So when we are adding these values, we put them into single quotes like that, name, and then we have got population, so we can just do it like this. It will okay, I thought it would just suggest for me, so we do it like this, and then we also do the same here, and then we also do the same for the postal code. So make sure that whatever is at the beginning has to also be in line with this, because if I put population here, then the information which is going to be entered into the city name is going to be the population. So if I put the name here and then the population here, what I've done is I've switched. So the population is going to be entered into the city name, and the name is going to be entered into the city population, which is a big mistake. So I have to make sure that these are in line. So you also have to do the same. Once I've done that, this is now the query is ready, and then I have to create like post result. So I will click, or I can just say result, right? So what is the result? This result is going to be my SQLi query. So this query, remember we have got a con from our database. From here we have taken con, this connection, so it's con. Make sure that what you have written here is also the same as here, and then we are going to take this query. So we copy this guy and we put it here. So this is our result. So the result, MySQL query, will take the connection there, and it will take the query here, and then this is okay. Now we are good to go. Now we have to put some conditions. If the result is if the result is okay, it has to echo something. So I'm gonna put some sort of script here. So script, this is just some sort of an alert, a JavaScript alert. So alert, sorry, and then inside this alert it's gonna be information, city has been successfully added. So that's our information, and then we are gonna close the script, right? And then after that it has to return, so it will return to the same page. So here as well as here. So script, now it will return window, because this window, once we have clicked OK, it has to open it will open index.php. Once we have sent the information, it has to open, and then it will be self. So self means it doesn't have to open a new page, it will just be the same page, so it will be self. So once we are done, we can test it and see if everything else is working. So let's test it. Let me go to this guy. So I will first of all go to index so that I refresh this part. Yeah, so once I've done this, let's add Lilongwe, and then population, it will be maybe 745,000. Postal code equal LL, and then this will be like 21367, and then we submit. So localhost says city has been successfully added. If I say okay, this is going to be blank. And then if I go to my browser, it has to have 3 items. Voila! So we have Lilongwe, this city population, and this city code, and now we are good. So now this is how we send information from this form to the database. Remember, we are adding using the insert. Now we have used the insert from the table. So this is what the user is going to see, and you will have to create forms like this in the future. So for now, let's call it a day. See you next time. Bye bye.